Good afternoon, everyone. This is Off Topical Podcast, episode 51. I'm here with my co-host, as always, Raven. How's it going, Raven?
It's going pretty good. It's nice to be back. I know everyone's been questioning where the podcast has been, but it's here. We're alive.
Yeah, we're going to try to do it every week this year. We had some personal crap going on. I just moved to Kentucky a couple months ago, and getting back into the swing of things has been crazy difficult.
It really, truly has, hasn't it? And then holidays, man, doing stuff, no time for anything.
Yeah.
Literally,
I have
holidays are such a drain.
Yeah, for real. Oh, man. I have like a client that I do programming for. Actually, I have two clients that I do programming for, and this last month has been nuts. Stuff broke. I ended up having to do that stuff instead of stuff for the channel. So I don't know. It's been crazy. How have things been with you, man?
Pretty good. Not really as hectic as you, but we can't do the podcast without you. So
Right.
It wouldn't be a podcast if you weren't here, man. It'd just be me talking to myself.
Right.
Admittedly, some people out there might enjoy that, but I wouldn't enjoy that.
No, I think we have a special dynamic that makes people listen. That's what people listen for, is us and our witty banter.
I know, right? Let's see. I would say probably the biggest change that would probably surprise a lot of people is, everyone remembers the 32-bit Ubuntu fiasco.
Oh yeah.
And me raging about it, raging really hard because Arch, one of the most insanely elitist groups of Linux, still supports 32-bit.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're not even a company. They're just a group of people that really, really like Linux.
Yeah.
So, I switched to Arch for a while, but Arch is Arch. Let's just put it that way. So, and I don't like Manjaro. I don't like Manjaro at all. I'm sorry. I don't. It's terrible.
It's all right. Manjaro's good, but okay.
Yeah, okay. Masochist. Anyway, so I switched back to Ubuntu briefly after leaving it and then going back to Arch and then coming back. And I just, GNOME kept crashing and stuff, and that's something that I really just don't like about GNOME. And some people, like to go, oh, it's because you have a NVIDIA graphics card. I mean, okay, fair enough, I guess, but that's not really a great defense, at all. It's actually a terrible one.
That's a pretty bad defense, honestly.
Yeah, it's oh, your graphics card is terrible. Really? I mean...
Just use the Nouveau drivers, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, sure. So I did something that I never thought I would ever do, and I actually spoke to EG about it, and he thought it was hilarious too, and I switched to Elementary.
What?
I know, right? I've been on Elementary since early December, because I think late November I tried it for 2 days. I got really fed up, and then I just left it and went back to Ubuntu.
Yeah.
And then Ubuntu crashed, GNOME crashed, because Ubuntu is fine. It's GNOME. Yeah. So GNOME crashed, and KDE has its own issues, which I will, as a little side note, I will say that both GNOME and KDE have really great roadmaps for 2020, where it's KDE is going to overhaul and make their entire desktop environment uniform in terms of look. Thank you.
Well, that'll be nice.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll like the look, but it'll be uniform, and that is
It'll look like Windows 98 still. It's going to piss some people off.
But it's got that plus bug fixes, and GNOME is essentially the same thing. Bug fixes seem, for 2020, bug fixes and a lot of open source software seems to be the focal center point, because Linux develops so rapidly that sometimes we forget that bugs are created because we just chase that new feature, which is fun and exciting. But so I went to Elementary and I stuck with it for a week. I was like, no matter what happens, I'm gonna stick to it for a week, and it's been maybe slightly over 30 days or around 30 days. I don't really remember when I started it. But yeah, I've been on Elementary ever since. It's rock solid. It doesn't crash. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have my issues with it, but Pantheon hasn't crashed. So the issues I have with it are whatever. For example, did you know that with Elementary, there's only one volume slider? You don't have individual app volume sliders.
I didn't know that.
That's really dumb.
That's a problem with the user interface.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Apparently, like I saw some people talking and that's going to get fixed, but I didn't see anyone from Elementary, so, grain of salt on that. But that really needs to be fixed. Like, I don't know if that's a Mac OS feature and they're just copying that, but I need my individual volume sliders. Okay. Like, I don't want to, like sometimes I listen to music and play games, or, I play games and I talk to people, and, no application is a built-in volume slider. So, I need a way to, I need a way to make stuff quieter or louder.
Yeah.
Like, so, I just have to launch Pavu and stuff. So in Elementary 5, when you're at the welcome screen, you have your back wallpaper. It looks more like GNOME's welcome screen in Elementary 5. And 5.1, they changed it. So it's like this gray background. And then it shows my wallpaper, my name, and my avatar and stuff. Honestly, I like the old login greeter.
Really? I haven't used that since.
Like what I want, I want my, when I'm at the login page, I don't want that gray background. I want my wallpaper. And like, it would be cool. Like if I switch to another user, it changes to that wallpaper. Like that would be cool. But other than that, because that's really my only real beef with it, to be totally honest with you. That's it. Like, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's pretty good. Like, if that's all I'm going to complain about.
Well, don't get me wrong here. I like Elementary. It's not my cup of tea, though. I am very surprised, however, that you like it.
I just like it because it's solid. Yeah. I mean, the only other choice for me, of course, is Arch and only i3. But I need something with a more proper desktop environment because I've been doing some work on stuff, and I can't only test an i3. So I need an install that, enables me to, work essentially in a more traditional setup, because i3 is nothing traditional. There's nothing traditional about i3. It's lovely and it's beautiful and I love it, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like i3 is normal.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone should use it because it's superior to everything else, but yeah, it floored me too. But it's very rock solid. It uses way less system resources. Steam, like dragging like the Steam friend list and like resizing it, it's kind of glitchy under GNOME. And I don't know if that's because I run NVIDIA or if that's just like it's always been that way for me. Like I've never experienced it any other way. And I've changed hardware since then. So I think it's just a GNOME thing. It's not like that on KDE. It's not like that on Elementary either. It's just like that with GNOME for me. I mean, that's a minor issue, and I don't really resize it that often anyway, but it just annoys me. Because, come on. Yeah. But it is nice, and we'll see where it goes. I don't know if I'll stick with it, forever. We'll see what Elementary 6 brings with the move to Ubuntu. Well, I guess it's 20.04. Wow. Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah. They haven't been around for 20 years yet, but I mean, Ubuntu's been around for a long time.
15 years going on close to 16. Wow.
Yeah.
Long time.
That's crazy. I remember when Ubuntu first came out and I was like, what's this newfangled thing?
Yeah, I do too, because I installed it and I mean, it was the original Ubuntu was just GNOME 2. Like there was no uniqueness other than the wallpaper that said Ubuntu. Actually, I don't think the default wallpaper had nothing. I think it was gray or brown.
Wasn't it? Ugh. It was just brown. Like it wasn't like GNOME wasn't brown. It was like blue, right? But Ubuntu had like a blue color scheme.
I can't remember.
Oh, I don't know what I just said. I think I said that backwards.
But 4.10 Warty Warthog had like Warty brown. Yeah. The wallpaper had Ubuntu in it, but it was still ugly brown. It was hideous. And then at 5.04, that was when they started getting a more Ubuntu look. And then I'd say 5.10 is when they established or started getting closer to their,
branding.
Yeah, and then 6.06. That's when it turned orange, and that's when it really, that's when it got like really good in my opinion. Because the first couple releases of Ubuntu were questionable.
Yeah, but I mean, eventually Ubuntu became like the the distro. Like it
Oh
was the
yeah,
distro.
yeah. And I mean, back then, to install drivers, you had to like get the driver and download it and run the .run file and install it and hope to hell that you did everything right so it didn't crash when you rebooted. And
Yeah.
or if you were lucky, like later on, like it was like 2006, 2007, somewhere around there, there were like some third-party programs that downloaded it and handled it for you.
Right.
Those were the days, man.
The Endis wrapper.
Yeah. And I'm also hoping that like Elementary in particular gets like a dedicated driver manager, because right now it's built into the software center, and like at first it wasn't obvious to me like where it is.
Yeah.
And it either that or it needs to be like it needs a UI change. But they're working on it. And the FlatHub support is like actually really rock solid. I installed a few snaps because I installed Snap, and because there are some things I prefer to be snaps, for example, like wire, because the wire snap can access everything, whereas the FlatHub, or Flatpak rather, I should say, the FlatHub snap, the FlatHub package of wire cannot access anything other than the main drive. I don't know if you can change that or not, but it's sandboxing, so
Yeah.
like you can't see the other drives whether they're mounted or not for me. So is what it is.
It's been like over a year since I've used wire. That's nuts.
I have to use wire.
Dude.
Wire's good.
So here's something new going on with me. I have the Librem 5 Chestnut. Ooh. It's a chestnut.
Well,
It's pretty cool.
I assume it's better than the original release one.
Yeah, it's better than the one that I had. It's got what was the big thing? Oh, it can do calls and text messages. I posted on Twitter.
Well, isn't that just a software update? So
Yeah.
can't the original just update?
Right. Well,
The
so
Chestnut's
I don't
supposed
know
to come
what
with the thermal stuff, isn't it? Like actual heat
I
sinks?
think this one has like the heatsink, but I haven't taken it apart, so I don't know.
I was gonna say,
But
they
it
could've just
still
sent you
does
the
get
heatsink.
pretty warm.
Well, yeah, phones get warm, dude. I mean, come on. Like my
Yeah.
Samsung gets hot, depending on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
As long as it
But
doesn't scald me, I'm good.
The other thing that's really cool is that the battery is still 2000 milliamp hour, but it's labeled Purism. That's pretty cool.
I don't even know what to say to that.
It has a Purism branding on the battery.
I'm gonna keep my eye on Librem. I'm still gonna request one of the later batches just because that's how I roll.
Yeah. Aren't you in the Evergreen batch?
I don't know. I
Yeah,
requested
I
one of
think
the later
most people
batches.
are.
I haven't checked it. I was busy for December. You should see how many
Yeah.
emails I didn't even look at. I just archived them. I'm
Yeah.
fairly certain there's probably an email in there from Purism. I
Probably.
should probably check that later.
Yeah. But yeah, the Librem 5 is pretty cool. I'm going to put it through its paces. We're going to see what's new, what's different, what's happening. This one's
Sweet.
charging as opposed to the Birch that kind of like burnt out, or I'm not sure exactly what happened. I haven't even sent the other one back. They sent me this. They were like, "Oh yeah, you won't get the Chestnut until January, like mid-January." And I'm like, "All right." And then they shipped it to me and I got it the day before New Year's. So I
Well,
was
whatever
like, "All
works,
right."
man.
Yeah. But anyway, it's fun. You want to talk about the news?
Go for it.
All right. So the first story today, Raven, is we have, it looks like EA is permanently banning Linux users who are using Wine to play Battlefield 5.
Can't even say I'm surprised.
Part of me is like, I feel bad for them. They're paying customers, but also if you're a Linux user and you're playing freaking online games, you had better bet that they're going to ban you permanently from playing the
you
game.
really do have to like I play World of Warcraft, for example, online.
Yeah.
But Blizzard has unbanned me before because of it. Like
Yeah.
Blizzard, despite being a bunch of, Chinese dick sucking people, you might want to edit that out. Or leave it. I don't even care.
I'm leaving it. That's you.
I don't
That's
even
on
care.
you,
I
man.
saw the Hong. You know what? What Blizzard did over the whole Chinese fiasco, and then their lovely written by
Yeah.
Chinese overlord bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Blizzard. You can tell. But
Yeah.
hey, man, you support dictatorships. I mean,
I have, for the record, I have never liked a single Blizzard thing ever.
You don't like
Nothing.
games.
I don't.
We're not
I
even
don't
gonna
like
get into
Blizzard.
that.
Blizzard
Right.
is a terrible company. They've made
They are.
terrible choices.
Yeah,
I
so.
hate Blizzard.
Anyway, but even Blizzard unbans people for wine. And
Yeah.
like I get it, like, you know, if you're gonna run wine, you know, people need to be aware that anti-cheat stuff might get flagged by wine. But here's the big thing and the issue that I have with the way EA handled this. One, EA was just moronic about it. Like, they just confirmed that their systems were right and that the people were cheating, which I doubt it.
Yeah.
But secondly, Battlefield 5 has been out for almost 2 years. I think it's been at least over a year. Like, an entire
Right.
year has gone by. At least an entire year. Why didn't it flag it before? Like, this wasn't an issue before.
Oh, just because they don't. They
Yeah,
don't
it's
care.
it's
Like,
because it's a very recent thing, and you know it's kind of like, on the one hand you could argue, you know, people shouldn't be doing this sort of stuff, but it was fine for the longest time.
yeah, it's more about like you have to expect that if you're playing a game through Wine online, you're going to get banned. Like that's just the fact of the matter, in
Well,
my opinion.
I don't really have that issue with like Blizzard games, but Blizzard games, the only thing I really play from Blizzard is World of Warcraft Classic, so
Yeah.
and StarCraft 2. That's
Right.
actually it. So I don't actually have that issue. I've only been banned once, and that was quite a while ago, when something changed in their system and they banned all those wine players and they just unbanned us. So, I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, it's fine. I mean, if they unban you, then who cares, right? Like, whatever. You know, because stuff happens, you
Yeah.
know. Stuff can get flagged and, you know, suddenly you're just mass banning people and it's like, oh, whoops, well, here, I'll just unban you.
Right. But
And that's
it looks
totally
like
cool.
they are unremorseful at
Oh no,
EA
they don't
about
care
this.
in the slightest. They're like, no.
Well, you
Like,
gave
they're not
us
even
you
they're not
gave
even really
us your
giving good
money.
responses either. Like, their responses
No.
are just like so crappy.
Yeah, well, it's Electronic Arts.
Unfortunately, it won't really like catch mainstream gaming news, so no one will really notice. But if it
Right.
did, that would be nice, because that might actually pressure them into being like, yeah, we'll unban you. Because it's like, come on, translating DirectX calls to Vulkan or OpenGL is not cheating in any way.
Right. Well, I mean, it's not just that. I mean, that's kind of an oversimplification of what Wine does. Wine is like,
Oh yeah, yeah,
It
it's a
provides-
compatibility layer. So like, they're anti-cheat servers, but my point is more like, yes, it is true that a lot of anti-cheat software does tend to need specific. This is why Destiny 2 doesn't work.
yeah,
It needs very specific Windows stuff. But my point is more with Battlefield 5, it worked fine for. I mean, it's been over a year, and you know, I know someone who's been playing Battlefield 5 on Linux for over a year. He's had no
Yeah.
issues. He's stopped. He hasn't been banned yet. He's not going to do it. He just uninstalled it.
Mm.
It's like, well, I mean, Linux people have money, and if you don't want our money, I guess we'll take it somewhere else.
Yeah. It sucks. I mean, I feel bad for these guys. First of all, because they're paying money to Electronic Arts in the first place.
I know, right?
That's the thing. That's the thing that I don't understand is like so many gamers complain about Electronic Arts and then they still buy EA games.
Yeah. Well, here's the greatest thing. Remember, and I'll go back to the Blizzard and the Chinese thing again. So, you know, everyone hates Blizzard because of the whole China fiasco, and rightfully so. Like, Blizzard
Yeah.
took a stance and then didn't apologize, but apologized for getting caught, which is just that's such a politician move. Whatever. Anyway, everyone got super mad about that. Like, did you see BlizzCon? Like, how furious people were. Like, it didn't really like go the way they thought. But then they released Diablo 4. Dude, that thing's gonna sell so well.
Yeah.
It's like no one cares.
It's disgusting.
Everyone cares in the moment, but no one really cares, and that's why they get away with it. Like, if everyone truly
Yeah.
cared, like absolutely cared, everyone would just go and cancel their World of Warcraft subscription. Because as much as like Blizzard, for example, wants to be in China, like 88% of their revenue is from the West. And if, I don't know, half of US subscribers canceled, Blizzard would turn around and be like, yeah, we're not going to China. Nope. Because there's no money. China would have to make up that difference in order to keep them.
Right.
But that's the thing. No one does that because no one cares. Everyone cares in the moment. Of course.
Well, I think it's that the people that follow it care and are very loud about it. That's the problem. Is that most people don't care. They don't follow these news stories.
Yeah, they don't
it's
care
like
at all.
the people who play Call of Duty aren't like they don't like follow gaming news. That's what I'm guessing anyway. I don't know that for a fact, but that's my guess is that like the people who buy these games, the people who buy Madden every year don't follow the news that EA will ban you for stupid crap like playing in wine. Like it's ridiculous.
Well,
and people need to be educated, I think, and that's part of the problem. We don't have enough education.
So I have a really weird thing about my Origin account. So I actually have two Origin accounts, but they're actually one Origin account. It's very complicated, but essentially what happened is quite a few years ago, my EA account got hacked, which is just, I mean, and when I contacted EA support, they said, no, there's been no hacks or breaches, and that you can't change your date of birth and all this stuff, even though all that stuff happened. They confirmed that someone got in and did it, but apparently they didn't hack in and it didn't cause an issue. By the way, like 2 days after this, it was reported that they had gotten hacked. So
yeah,
but my entire account is like totally screwed. That's why like I own the username Raven67854, but that's not my actual account name. And the reason for that is because EA sucks, and that was it. Anyway, so I asked them to correct it, right? Because, you know, if it got hacked and someone was able to change my name, which you claim is impossible, because like you can't just go change it. Like you can change like how you're displayed, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. I don't really do anything on Origin, but at least back then, because this was probably like 2011, so they said it was impossible and you can't do that. And I was like, oh, okay, well, can you do it on your end? Nope. Okay, but the hacker was able to do it. Yeah, we're not doing it. That's EA. I've really pretty much have never bought an EA game from them ever since then. Like, no joke.
Yeah.
I bought Battlefield 4, the complete collection or whatever, for $5. That's probably the most money I've spent.
I'm like looking at my I have an Origin account, and for some reason I have The Sims 2, Peggle, Dragon Age Origins, which that is not a game I have ever played in my life, and Bejeweled 3.
Nice.
And then I also have the SimCity 5 or whatever the latest SimCity is. No, my friend bought it for me because he wanted to play it with me.
Oh.
And he bought me the deluxe edition.
Oh. Yeah, you know, I actually like SimCity 2. I have SimCity 2 on my Origin. SimCity 2 is great.
The SimCity 2? Are you talking 2000?
No, not Sim. Sorry. Bleh. I meant The Sims 2.
The Sims 2. Yeah, I think I got that for free for some reason.
Yeah. I did as well because it was like the whole thing, and then they had like a limited time where like I think anyone could claim it.
Yeah.
It's like the complete collection too. It's like everything.
Yeah.
It's wicked.
It kind of sucks that EA owns Maxis, doesn't it?
Well, Maxis hasn't really made a game in a long time, so yeah, it does really suck.
Yeah, but they own like the intellectual property of Maxis.
I know,
That's
right?
the problem.
Hey man,
anyway,
they nickel and dime you for everything.
Everybody just needs to stop buying stuff from Electronic Arts. The company needs to die. All right, that's it. I think we're done with the story.
And you're harsher than me.
Dude, I hate Electronic Arts. They need to die. Everybody out there, let me know what you think. Let us know what you think. Head over to the forum.heavyelement.io. We have the show notes over there. You can let us know what you think about Electronic Arts. Do you think that they should die for banning Battlefield 5 players? Let us know. All right, Raven, did you hear about this one? Trump just signed the Trace Act, which is the first federal robocall law. What do you think about this, man?
I think it's awesome. Like,
yeah.
Because I've been getting a lot of them here lately, especially here lately.
Me too.
And I report them, but they don't do anything about them.
No.
They just keep calling me. And the new Trace Act, man, like for starters, they can pursue them longer. Like, I don't understand why they couldn't pursue them anyway to begin with. Like that made no sense.
Yeah,
and
I
the
don't know.
fines, the new fines under the Trace Act, I think it went up 15x. I think it went up from $1,000 to $15,000 a call.
Mm.
It's like
Which if they actually like enforce that, they can actually like put some scammers out of business.
not just but not just that. If I remember correctly, the Trace Act also makes it so that carriers can be held responsible as well.
Oh, interesting. I didn't see that, but that would be good. The FCC has already created an authentication system to help mitigate robocalls, and it's called Shake and Stir, which
I know it's.
they should just call it Bond at that point. Like, come on. But I don't know. Like, basically, it authenticates between like the network and the phone in order to prevent this kind of stuff from happening. These robocalls, and you know what? I'm in favor of this. I think this is a good idea. I think that the FCC should have the power to block these annoying, terrible calls.
Yeah, and the carriers have to do it for free as well. Like they have to give up features that allow them to block robocalls and stuff, and they're not allowed to charge them for it.
Yeah.
And they also have to implement it, in line. So it's really nice because the best part is that there's not going to be any more spoofing. Because I always love it when my phone calls myself. Like I'm really going to pick that up.
Yeah. I'll get spoofs where it's like, I have like a 207 number because I'm from Maine originally.
Yeah.
And I'll always get like a 207 with the like little, not the area code, but the next 3 digits. I always get them from the same area that my phone number is from. And it's like, you are obviously not from this area. Like, I don't answer phone calls from, like, unless I have the contact in my phone. So, but the fact that I get probably 10 of them a day, that's really stupid. And I'm really glad that they're doing something about that.
I don't get that many. I can't imagine how annoying that is.
You don't get that many? Dude, oh my gosh.
I get maybe
so
like
many.
10 a month.
10 a month?
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
What?
Yeah. But also don't forget that this law also means, like, I didn't know this, but before this law went into effect, which is amazing that it went into effect at the end of December, the FCC couldn't do anything about it until they've been reported X number of times, and now they only need to report it once. Like that's it. They don't need, and they don't need to warn them either. They can go right after them. They don't need to be like, you need to stop. They can just fine them.
Yeah. So yesterday I only got 2. The day before that I got 3. The day before that I got 3.
That's awful.
The day before that I got 1.
That's
so
terrible.
It's a lot. It's a lot, and I'm really happy that. Hopefully this can do something about it. And to everyone who's like, laws don't do anything. Yeah, they do. Look at your
when
look at your
when they
paycheck.
actually enforce it, they do. The problem is that they're very picky about what laws they force.
Yeah. Right. The laws don't impact you. If you believe that, look at your paycheck. Look at where all the taxes come out. Those are laws. Laws can affect and make change. And I think that this is a good one. And hopefully if they do it right, if they enforce it right, we'll have fewer of these calls.
Yeah. I mean, they're estimating 12 to 18 months for everything to get rolled out properly.
Yeah.
So it'll still be a while, but they can go on ahead and start fining them immediately.
Right.
Which is good. Because that's the thing, right? Like I saw some article and they've already fined someone under the new rules. And it's like 164 million. That's what they find.
Yeah.
I mean, that individual will never pay it, but the fact of the matter is that basically gives the federal, because that's the thing, right? Like in the past, they would get fined, they'd pay the fine, they'd close up, they'd reopen. Like it was just playing whack-a-mole. But now they can hit them with so hard and so many fines that they bankrupt them. There is no whack-a-mole.
Yeah. Well, so this even puts like limits on like legitimate robocalls.
Oh yeah, thank God. Cool. Like back in the past when I used to have student loans, and it would be like 5 days before it was due, and they would call like twice a day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is just idiotic. Like, reminded me. I'm like, they're rabid, man.
Yeah.
It's
it'll
put an end to that crap.
Yeah, I'm happy about this. I think this is good. What do you guys think about this? Let us know in the show notes, forum.heavyelement.io. We have a little community going on over there.
Yeah, we're gonna start reviving stuff. This podcast might not be as big as normal, everyone, and we do apologize for that. But we're gonna be rolling out a fair bit of stuff this year, and the community is gonna grow quite significantly. Yeah. So, we're gonna get the ball rolling. It's just gonna be a slow start for this year.
Yeah. We have big plans coming up. So hopefully you guys can stick around. If you're not already, subscribe on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel where there's a video version of the podcast. You can also head over to offtopical.net if you're watching this on YouTube and listen to the audio version. It all helps. It all makes a difference. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you, Raven, for being here. Thank you, everyone out there, for listening. Is there anything you want to say before we head out, Raven?
No, can't really think of anything. I was sitting there. I was like, man, is there anything I want to say? It's like, no. I can go back on another tirade about all the stuff I don't like about elementary.
Oh, yeah.
Or
talk
like
about elementary store.
Very funny. Very funny. You should give it a shot, though. If you have like a spare PC or time, you should totally. It's the 5.1 update is really impressive.
I like elementary. It's just not my. It doesn't fit my workflow. I'm more of a GNOME guy, as you probably know.
Yeah. You like desktop environments that crash. It's all good, man.
It doesn't. I have never had GNOME crash on me since I got my Vega 64.
I just can't stand it, man. I can't stand the crashing.
Well,
if the crashing didn't happen, then I'd be okay with it.
GNOME might crash on me like every other month, maybe, but it's not. It doesn't bother me. Like, it never gets in the way.
I swear it probably is because I have NVIDIA graphics card. But you know what? I'm not giving up my ray tracing capability.
No.
I've been messing around with Vulkan ray tracing quite a lot here lately, and I'm not giving that up. So GNOME will work right. I'm sorry.
No. Well, the next generation of Radeon cards should have ray tracing, from what I hear.
I hope so. There's rumored to have dedicated hardware, but if they don't have dedicated hardware, I don't care.
Well, that's
I know they're gonna have
Xbox Series X ES GT 2020.
Yeah, so is the PlayStation, but a lot of it too is because initially when they first announced it was going to be like a hybrid approach, where like it was going to be like software on the GPU cores, and I'm sorry, but once you've had an RTX card and actually done the ray tracing stuff on it, it's really nice doing it like completely on like a dedicated chip on the GPU. Yeah. Like, it just doesn't compare.
Right.
And they need to do that. And I'm sure they'll do that. I don't know when. I don't know if it'll be this year or next year, but I have a feeling it'll be coming.
Definitely. All right. Well, thanks everybody out there for listening. I think that's going to do it for this episode. Raven, I'm glad we're back doing this. I've missed doing this.
Oh yeah, we should do a 2-hour one next Friday, just so everyone is like, like, oh God, why is it 2 hours? Why?
There are some people who complain the show's not long enough, so maybe that'll satisfy them.
But like, I think our average is like slightly over an hour. That's pretty long.
Yeah, an hour 14 is about our average. But
we could do better this year.
Oh yeah, well, dude, we're gonna kick ass this year. This has been the Off Topical Podcast. My name is Gardner, and thanks for watching.